Okay, so our today's target is to continue with where we left yesterday. And just to quickly wade you through, we were actually talking about the big data, right? I hope you've gone through the video which I shared yesterday. And there, our basic focus was that what do we understand by big data? Where has this term cropped up from? Okay, data has always been there, equally important all these years. Once computerization happened. So data becomes significant. But big data is really coming up with the internet and OTT platform and social media platforms. That is from there where we are getting the big data, huge chunk of information. Right. So all these are the basic sources we discussed. Moving further, a significant thing that yes, our data is classified into three categories: structured, where it is very much in the tabular format and it's the easiest to handle. Like we have data in SQL tables or Excel tables or any other formats which is available in the banks or in the transactions of various other setups. Then you have the semi-structured data, which is a mix uh, of course, structures and unstructured thing too. So there we talk about the XML and HTML files, JSON files. They do have a format. Like when you did the HTML programs, you must have seen there were tags and they had some formats, but it's not very much structured. Unstructured is completely without any inherent rules or regulations. It could be anything and everything and in bulk, so we calling it big data. Then we also discussed about the advantages. Obviously, with the huge amount of information which we have, a lot of analysis can be done and a lot of what do you say? Like that much data may give you information um, which will help you increase your productivity, increase your efficiency in terms of better decision making, right? Because you have analyzed every aspect well. ठीक है ना? Now, because we have advantages of something, we do have disadvantages also, where the major concern is the privacy issues. Okay. So, यहाँ पे we have also talked about the regulatory compliance, the General Data Protection Regulation, and the Digital Personal Data Protection Act. Okay. So, in the board exam also, these kind of terms can be asked in the MCQs. So, just keep in mind that these are like we have the ISO standards for other things in life. So, similarly, we have these protection regulation acts which have been created and everybody has to maintain a compliance with it. Every company who's like, if Amazon is working on individual information data, so they should be following this regulation. इसके against में कुछ करेंगे तो they'll be considered as breach of information करके, ठीक है? Penalties होगा. Somebody can sue them under this act. So it's a significant. Rest we understand disadvantage में privacy is definitely the major concern. Then technical aspect of it, handling that kind of data, we need specialists. That is why new positions have come up: data engineers, data scientists, and all that. Right. So including cost too. So these are the basic disadvantages. Then a very important thing about the characteristics, the 6V framework, where 6 words starting with V defines the characteristics of my data, wherein the first three are the most significant ones: huge volume, speed with which the data is created, and the variety of the data we have, including structured, semi-structured, and unstructured data, everything present there. Okay. Now, this I had asked you people that all the characteristics ko rakhte hue in mind, they have given a situation like the on-demand drama regarding an OTT platform. So, how do you classify all that characteristics? under this situation, right? I hope you've gone through that. It's very well explained here, so shouldn't be a problem. Then we were talking about, so this is all about big data. Why and how and advantage, disadvantage of the big data which we are collecting. Okay. Now the term comes data analytics. अब वो सारा data जो आपने collect किया है, you have to actually do something with that, isn't it? And what do I do with it? I uncover the trends, the patterns out of it. I try to figure out some valuable information from there, and then only it is going to be useful for me. That is what is the meaning of data analytics. So they have given a fancy term to it, I would say, but this is simply meaning analysis of my data which I collected. है ना? So उसको अच्छा सा term दिया, analytics sounds good. So इसके अंदर we talk about the uncovering of the insights and trends and patterns from the data so that businesses benefit out of it. Now, this is the place where I left in hurry yesterday. So these are again important things. What are the types of analytics you do? Okay. By the name of the analytics, you can just have a you know brief idea about, because the terms are very, very self-explanatory. So it's not that it's very difficult to remember them. But yes, it's significant. If you go by the terms, you can easily explain the meaning of it. Okay? Should not be a problem. So coming down to these 6 pointers, descriptive analytics. Descriptive analytics का मतलब है कि describe करो what has happened looking at the old data. पुराना सारा data देख के, पुराना company, if I consider a company, business company, so doing business, so what has been happening all through? ये हमारा प्रोडक्शन था, ये हमारा एक्सपेंडिचर ऑन एडवर्टाइजिंग था, ये हमारा इतना एक्सपेंडिचर था तो इतना हमने प्रॉफिट गेन किया, वट एवर. Look at the old data. So descriptive, describing the old data, drawing inferences from the old data, what has been happening all this time, right? That is descriptive. Second is diagnostic. Diagnostic term is very well understood if you take yourself at a situation of a medical emergency. ठीक है? So you have to be diagnosed of what is the problem. वहीं पे diagnostic आता है, ठीक है? So now there is a problem. So now you have to analyze from the data available. Why did it happen? Right? There has been a disaster, like the current most, which is there in my mind, is the RCB celebration का जो disaster हुआ, right? So there has been a disaster. Now the diagnostic analytics will be, why did it happen? You know, the authorities had to plan it in a manner, the authorities had to execute it in a manner that there shouldn't have been this kind of a situation. So, kyun hua? What were the lapses? Similarly, for any kind of other situation you're talking about, diagnostic will be finding out the reasons behind the event, whether it's like if back to my business scenario. So there has been a loss, or there has been a dip in the sales. So why? That is my diagnostic analytics. Okay, there are teams and companies who work in this regard. They try to find out the reasons behind what went wrong. Because जब तक वो reason नहीं पता चलेगा, how do you improvise yourself? है ना? आपको reason तो पता चलना चाहिए. Like for this massacre also, the human massacre which has happened, so many children and women and others have died also, and others are in hospital. So you have to find the reason so that next time it doesn't happen. है ना? That is what diagnosis you can do. कि reason find out करो और उस reason को next time मत होने दो. Third one, predictive. So predictive analysis क्या है कि पूरा पुराना डेटा देख के you make a prediction कि ऐसा होगा, है ना? Now like supposingly we say that, even that is helpful at times because you are prepared for it then. Now simple thing that every time I go out and eat, I land up into having some stomach infection. Every time it happens. है ना? So prediction. So I know कि if I go and eat outside, I'll have this problem. my mind has kind of created this analysis that yes, that's my prediction. That if I do this, then this will happen. है ना? So predictive analysis talks about what might happen. It uses information from the past to make guesses about what will happen in the future. Whether good or bad, that's a different thing. But first of all, prediction of what will happen. So predictive. So descriptive, diagnostic, predictive. Then comes prescriptive. Again, the term can be very well associated with the term prescription. तो prescription क्या होता है? डॉक्टर जो आपको दे रहा है with the medicines कि ये खाओ. तो ये प्रॉब्लम हुआ है, ये हमने डायग्नोज किया है, अब ये आपका प्रिस्क्रिप्शन है. सो व्हाट शुड वी डू अबाउट द प्रॉब्लम नाउ? ठीक है. It says very well that it goes beyond predicting what will happen to actually suggesting what should be done, which is the most important thing. आप predict कर लो कि क्या करना, क्या होगा. ठीक है, that is also important. Nobody is saying that is not important. But what is more significant is that you should do something about it. है ना? If it's a prediction of a good sales or a good harvest or a good rainfall, very good. But then if it is not, then take the measures so that the loss is minimized. है ना? So prescriptive. Then there's one more category which is there, which is real-time analytics. Real-time analytics means real-time feeds. करंट सिचुएशन में जो आपके पास इंफॉर्मेशन करंटली आता जा रहा सो उसको आप एनालाइज कर रहे हो फॉर इमीडिएट रिस्पॉन्सेस. Right? So what is happening now? It deals with the data right at the moment it's created and received, allowing for immediate responses. Okay. You can even take this in the scenario of the ChatGPT situation also. Therein, I am giving him a situation to deal with, and it's immediately giving me the responses. It's not doing waiting and doing this and doing thinking about it, but you get a real time analytics of the data. Or whatever, real time response. My main example significance was that I get a real time response. Okay, so that's my fifth one. Coming to the last one here, that's cognitive. Cognitive is also a very significant part of it because I'm trying to improvise the decision being taken by AI, which is very, very significant. That is how you improvise on your model, the AI model, what you have created. If you don't do that, then ek baar bana diya, whatever it is doing, okay, you don't tend to work further on it, which is not right. You will do this in terms of your day-to-day activities also. You studied, you gave the exam, you got the results. Now the point is that how do I improvise in the next exam? Isn't it? You will not leave it saying, okay, chalo, ho gaya. Forget it. Correct. So that is why cognitive is a very, very significant part of the analysis that now you talk about that how do I improve? I've seen the previous data, I have analyzed that, prescribe कर दिया मैंने प्रॉब्लम को डायग्नोस करा, मैंने उसका सोल्यूशन निकाला प्रिस्क्रिप्टिव एनालिसिस के थ्रू. आई डिड ऑल दैट, बट नाउ आई टॉक अबाउट माय इम्प्रोवाइजेशन. जो मैंने डिसीजन पहले लिया था उसको इम्प्रोवाइज किया, या अभी जो मैंने लिया है या आगे मैं लूंगी उसको इम्प्रोवाइज कर. नॉट आगे वाला ऑफ कोर्स, बट आई हैव ऑलरेडी टेकन. ओके. सो एक एआई अपने उसको अपने कैरेक्टरिस्टिक्स से अपने फीचर्स के साथ हाउ डू यू इम्प्रोवाइज. एंड एआई इज कॉन्स्टेंटली इम्प्रूविंग इटसेल्फ. एआई मॉडल में हम लोगों ने देखा है मशीन लर्निंग इज व्हाट. मशीन लर्निंग इज every time the system is learning and improvising, है ना? So that is what comes under cognitive analytics. Very significant, I feel, from the exam point of view also, because it could be MCQs, it could be true false, it could be assertion reasoning. इसमें से कुछ भी बन सकता है. And of course, a normal descriptive question, long answer question. Fine. So go by the terms. They're not difficult to correlate to a situation. हाँ, आपको टर्म्स याद रखना है कि कौन कौन से 6 टर्म्स हैं in that 6V framework also and here also. Lot of things to remember, of course. Right? Okay. Now the process. What does it do? What advantages it have? What characteristics it is giving me? क्या है क्या नहीं है? We've done it. Now, what are the basic steps which we follow? and certain names of tools. We are not really working on those tools as of now. But yes, big data analytics के लिए कौन से tools use होते हैं? Like at the end, I have given you the names. Tableau, Hadoop, Cassandra, MongoDB, SAS. These are all specialized courses nowadays. Uh, if you are going for the data analytics as your career or a part of your career, I would say, then studying these things are required. SAS professionals का बहुत डिमांड है, Tableau professionals का बहुत डिमांड है आजकल, है ना? Because it's all about business in India. So India or outside also, everywhere, the analytics are very important. Like अपनी जिंदगी में भी, you can correlate it very well to your own life, day-to-day life activities. You are doing actions every now and then. कुछ भी. It could be just getting up in the morning or having a cup of tea in the morning or having a morning breakfast, right? Whatever action you are doing, there's always a repercussion to that, good or bad, right? And consistently you do something, and based on that, you're getting the output. आपका health, if I say basic things, आपका health improve हो रहा है, आपका health deteriorate हो रहा है, you're getting pimples on your skin, your hair loss is happening, but that's all happening because of what you're doing. So analytics is all about that. That what have you done in the past? What is the current repercussion of that? And now, how do you improvise on your future based on the previous experiences? है ना? That is what it is all about. Very, very significant. So these Tableau, Hadoop, MongoDB is not that popular, but SAS professionals, Hadoop and Tableau is something which we hear a lot. So these are the tools they use, the high-end tools. Pandas and all has become pretty normal. Like we are studying it in school, so they are not, I would not call them very, very high-end tools. There are high-end activities involved in that too, but yes, we can do at a level of school, so that means they are not that difficult to use. Okay. Okay, coming to the process, step by step, actual definition of the step by step process involved. Of course, first is you have to gather data. जो बिग डेटा हम लोग कह रहे हैं उसको पहले गैदर करो, सबसे इंपॉर्टेंट चीज है. Whether in structured form, unstructured form, you're getting it from sensors, you're getting it from multimedia sources, you're getting it from cloud sources, wherever, but you gather it first. Then you process it. Okay? Processing is also very important. And in that process, you kind of take it in chunks or you take it in streams of data. जैसे मर्जी, जिसमें ये दो चीजें इन्होंने बोला है, batch processing or stream processing. Stream is shorter time frame में जो आप gather करते जा रहे हो, and batch processing is like maybe nowadays time slots का duration भी बहुत छोटा होता जा रहा है. So batch processing, earlier when we were young, so we used to talk about batch processing means पूरा दिन का batch और 10 दिन का batch उठा के वो process कर रहा है, ठीक है, डेटा को लेके. But here it's very fast, changing very fast, so it could be maybe half a day or 5 hours, 6 hours का डेटा लेके वो process कर रहा है. But stream is continuous every second. Okay, so that's processing. Then we have done a few things in the very beginning of the sessions where we discussed about removing the NAND data, removing records with the empty data, which is NAND data, or replacing the NAND data by something. So that is something which is talking about cleaning your data. बहुत सारा डेटा है जहां पे कोई empty values है, उसको हटा दो. We don't want it. Or replace it by something which you feel is a default thing. Like हम लोगों ने वहां पे सीखा था ना कि इज नल चेक करो, नल है तो उसको रिप्लेस कर दो विद 10 और 20 और 100 और समथिंग डिफॉल्ट वैल्यू, राइट? सो आपको आपका whatever data you've collected, you have to arrange it and you have to clean it in a manner that it is all set. Okay, because any incomplete information in between will create a problem. Because आपका number of records तो बढ़ गया, but incomplete information बीच में है, so it is not going to do the analysis properly. एक जगह पे है, एक जगह पे नहीं है, so it creates a imbalance, right? So that is why it's cleaning and rearranging erroneous missing data, सब कुछ हटा के you get a clean data ready. and then you start your analysis. अब analysis के लिए there are so many options available. क्या चाहिए, graphical format में चाहिए. You want summations, you want group by to be done and groups to be created. Based on that, you want some kind of a totals or summaries जो हम create करते हैं. On the bricks कि डे वाइज सेल्स चाहिए, एरिया वाइज सेल्स चाहिए, डे वाइज एरिया वाइज सेल्स चाहिए, डे वाइज एरिया वाइज प्रोडक्ट्स वाइज सेल्स चाहिए. So all that, every coding language has those options. I have not worked in Tableau or Hadoop, so I really can't give you examples of that. But yes, in Python or Pandas, we do this. We've been doing it in other database languages also. Like the examples I'm saying, कि आपके पास you have the database with your sales data of date, area, item wise, सब कुछ आपके पास है ना. आपको उसको समराइज करने के लिए यू हैव टू पुट योर ब्रेक्स, जिसको हम पेज ब्रेक जैसे कहते हैं ना डॉक्यूमेंट में. सिमिलरली वी पुट ब्रेक्स देयर, जिसको हम ग्रुप बाय कहते हैं, राइट. So group by में क्या है, I use a data to group my information. Based on that, then I do the analysis. So I'm saying group the data on item. So if I'm saying Bata is working on his sales data, so he would say that okay, men's shoes and women's shoes, or men's flat and women flat shoes. So categorize कर दिया. So my breaking up data is done on what? On the category of the shoes. उसके हिसाब से I want to see the sales. Right. So that way we can do it in pandas and we can analyze कि okay, this is where I'm lagging behind on this product or this category, and this is where I'm doing pretty fine. Okay. So all that is the endless. That's actually the endless thing. जितना मर्जी analyze करो to get better results. Okay. So that's your steps. Now, there's this term data streams. I have just discussed with the batch processing there. कि data streams या data mining जिसे हम कहते हैं, mining the data streams, उसका क्या मतलब है? This is something uh, which is related to big data only, but with a little difference that whenever I say data streams, I mean that the real time flow of data. Real time. You have constant images coming from satellite. You have constant feeds coming from various tweets in X. ठीक है. So real time flow, continuous web traffic, your traffic signals जो continuous feed आ रहा है वहां से photographs आ रहे हैं. That's a continuous thing. जहाँ पे भी ये चीज continuously happen हो रहा है, we call it a data stream. तो continuous data आता जा रहा, उसमें से आप patterns ढूंढ रहे हो, something which is a little odd, कि अरे ये ऐसा क्यों है continuously for 5 minutes, and then you kind of start thinking about it. Like the example I was giving the other day, कि you are checking the feeds from a railway station, and suddenly you find after some time that there's this bag lying there for a very long time and nobody is moving it. बाकी सब चीज अपनी अपनी जगह से हिल रहा है जा रहा है, हिल रहा है जा रहा है, जो movable objects हैं, but there's a bag lying there. So immediately you raise an alarm कि वो क्या है? Why is it lying there? It's an unidentified object with anybody. Nobody is carrying it, and a bag can't be kept loose like that. है ना? So continuous feed में से जब हम analysis कर रहे हैं, so that's something called as data mining of data streams. ठीक है? उसमें से भी you can judge a lot. Like they've given a very good example here that an example of an area where data stream mining can be applied is website data. Website typically receives continuous streams of data daily. For instance, a sudden spike in search of election results on a particular day might indicate the elections were recently held in a region or highlight the level of public interest in the results. So the moment you see that, okay, these, searches बहुत ज़्यादा आ रहा है, continuously आ रहा है for election results, so you may display that kind of an information on your website, or you may send messages across to people accordingly. So that's the continuously decision making हो रहा है वहाँ पे. Immediately change करोगे आप based on what is happening immediately, right? So that's more of continuous stream. One is that you see अपने 10 साल का पुराना डेटा आपने उठा के एनालाइज करा, करंट भी ले रहे हो आप, of course, but it's not a continuous stream of information. स्ट्रीम नहीं है वो. Data is collected and analyzed. It's not stream. So stream means there's a constant input coming in constantly. And जिसको कि उसमें से continuously ही data analysis होगा, right? So that is why the term mining data streams is there. Future of big data analytics, many of you might lined up into this career option. So of course, real-time analytics, instantaneously the decision making is immediate insights मिल जाता है इंसान को. So it's very good for the supply chain activities. Like I said, the selling Zepto का sale जो sales हो रहा है. So Zepto sees that there's a puja coming up. You know, there's this Navratri coming up. So immediately आप देखो उनका जो feeds है वो change हो जाता है ना? So because maybe the searches change. Correct. Maybe on every Tuesday there's more of search of laddus because Hanuman ji ko we give laddus. So that way, I'm saying just giving an example. So these people are really working on these to catch hold of the customers. Okay. So all that is happening in real-time analytics. Development of advanced models in predictive analytics. Prediction is something which is very, very significant. We are always talking about that. What are we trying to incorporate into AI machines is predictions, that he will be able to do predictions like humans can do, AI machines can do. AI can also do. So we are trying to incorporate that predictive analytic ability into the machine with precision. Prediction galat kiya to there's no point. Okay? So advanced models ka development in that regard. And then there's this term called as quantum computing. Frankly speaking, मैंने भी इसके बारे में बहुत कुछ पहले नहीं पढ़ा हुआ है. I tried to explore when I came to this term here, quantum computing. And I thought that, though that's not part of your syllabus, but I thought that I'll just give you a brief idea about what's this. This way I also learned it. So exactly what's happening. The traditional computing mechanism and the quantum computing, which we hear so much nowadays. That must be happening in the colleges or in the engineering syllabus. But yes, masters के syllabus में या bachelor's के syllabus में हर जगह पे हो रहा होगा. But I thought that let's discuss a little bit of it. There's so much information on these two. We don't understand everything due to its technicalities. But yes, basic things which I found that you will be able to correlate to. Like in the traditional computing mechanism, which we have been following till date, अभी तक भी हो रहा है वो चीज. That is, we talk about bits. So we are saying that yes, machines are able to understand. Sorry, machines are able to understand only an on and off or a 1 and 0. यही हम लोग बचपन से पढ़ते आए हैं, ठीक है, कि मशीन को एक सिंगल बिट समझ में आता है. So everything what you talk about comes down to this 1 and 0. But in quantum computing, they are saying that I'm talking about 4 values or maybe more than that. Qubit. Okay? Like the example also what they've given will be able to, you'll be able to understand it better. That is, अगर हम लोग एक coin को roll करते हैं, ठीक है? So when I roll the coin, I'm expecting it to be giving me a head or a tail. है ना? कि इस तरफ या इस तरफ. But sometimes maybe because of the spin, it has gone like this. It's halfway. ऐसा हो जाता है ना, ऐसे करके खड़ी हो जाती है कॉइन. अब उसको तुम क्या मानोगे? You will take it as heads or you will take it as tail. Can't say that. So that kind of thing. They talk about, okay, a heads is 1, a tail is 0, or both at the same time. So there's a superposition. It also has a secret connection to other coins, entanglement. So different more positions, which I'm making my machine expand. Right? So that's basic difference between quantum computing and traditional computing, the bit and the qubit. Then further few things, of course, because of qubit, the speed becomes incredibly more. When I talk about scientific applications, when I talk about this, so many things, big data analytics, वहां पे हमारा qubit based systems will definitely be better because इतना सारा डेटा उसको प्रोसेस करना है, एंड जितना फास्ट होगा हमारे लिए बेटर है. जितना डिफिकल्ट प्रॉब्लम है उतना पावर चाहिए उसको. सो देयर क्वांटम कंप्यूटिंग प्लेज अ major role, right? Another point here, like we say, problem solving. Of course, traditional computing, maybe we have been seeing that there is a step-by-step solution for everything we are working on. But what does for quantum computing it says? Being developed for problems that are impossible for even the biggest regular computers to solve. Okay, like they are given some examples also, creating new super materials, breaking very tough secret codes, designing complex drugs. So जहाँ पे we are saying कि traditional computing is finishing, quantum computing is starting. जितना करके ट्रेडिशनल कंप्यूटर्स हमें और ज्यादा उसमें नहीं कुछ कर पा रहे हैं, दे पा रहे हैं वैल्यूज. सो देयर दिस फेलो इज विल कम इन प्ले. दैट इज व्हाट वी आर ट्राइंग टू से. Another interesting point I found that in terms of environment, my normal computers are working very fine in my office or home with a basic AC, without AC. Currently, I'm working in my home without an AC condition. But for quantum computers, it needs super cold temperatures, special conditions. Because वो डेटा शायद उस तरीके से जनरेट करता है, हैंडल करता है, that it needs super cold temperatures to work with. Right? So, what is the current stage of quantum computing? Very experimental, not ready for everyday use. It's like early days of rockets, still figuring out how to get to the moon. So, it's still working. There's people are working on this scenario, and with time, it will definitely come up. I know. You also know that. So, by the time you reach your career path, you will have maybe, I mean, your labs working with quantum computers. Okay? So I thought I'll just discuss this thing because I also wanted to read about it. हमने बहुत कुछ सुना था about quantum computing. Okay? So that's what is my today's understanding of this chapter. And I would like to take you through the, I don't know what changes have I done anyway, the question bank now. Whatever time we have, let's go through the questions of the chapter. And let's see how much we can attempt. Okay? अच्छा, if you open the chapter, you will find जो हमने steps perform करा ना data analytics का, they have tried implementing it using the no code tool, which is Orange AI data mining tool, Orange वाला. That's a new tool they have given up to work with because it's no code tool. It's very simple to work with it. But अभी तक हमने वो tool सीखा नहीं है. So that is why that portion you'll find that I have not done. Once we do that, that's a separate chapter also. Then we will implement it for all these cases. Because that's part of your practical also. So we have to do it. Let's see when we can reach that target. ठीक है. अब हम लोग चलते हैं उस चैप्टर पे. Where is that? Oh, let me search it here. Big data. So this is chapter unit 5 we are doing currently. And let me just jump to the, ये है सारा प्रोसेस जो उन्होंने समझा रखा है कि if I want to do big data, so rather than using code like clean data, देखो cleansing में ये जो, if you remember we had done, no, checking the rows for NaN values and deleting it. तो यही चीज वो Orange data mining tool से करके दिखाएगा आपको. I mean, we can do it, implement it without code. So all this is there. Now coming down to the question, let's see if we can solve it or not. Okay. The first one, what does volume refer to in the context of big data? We have done 6 V's. Out of that, what does the word volume mean refer to? The term volume refer to. Chal, quickly. 3 of you here.
Amount of data generated.
Amount of data generated. Excellent. Anna? Next one. Which of the following is a key characteristics of big data? Again, something from the characteristics only. 6 V's. स्ट्रक्चर्ड फॉर्मेट हमेशा स्ट्रक्चर्ड नहीं होता. वी हैव लर्न कि 3 फॉर्मेट्स में आता है डेटा हमारे पास. मैनेजेबल साइज, डिफिकल्ट. Predictable patterns, no. Patterns can be very much random. You cannot say that it's predictable. So, variety. है ना? That's one of the big characteristics, big data characteristics. Next one. Which of the following is not one of the V's of big data?
Verification.
Verification, right. Very good. Sri Krishna, are you able to correlate? You were not there also?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay,
I was
good.
there yesterday.
Acha, you were there, right. Now we come down to the next one. What is the primary purpose of data pre-processing? Why do I need to pre-process? Increase data volume, reduce data variety, improve data quality, speed of
To
data
improve
processing.
data quality.
Improve data quality. Obviously, we are doing all that cleaning of the data and pre-processing of the data so that my data is at its best. So, that is what it is. Good. Which technique is commonly used for analyzing large data sets to discover patterns and relationships? Many terms which we don't know as of now. But analyzing large data sets, here we are talking about data mining. Find out the patterns and relationships. Okay. Which term describes the process of extracting useful information from large data sets? Extracting useful information from large data sets. Of course, analytics. Anna?
Yes, ma'am.
Right. Which of the following is a potential benefit of big data analytics? Now, ये आ गया आपके advantages वाले क्वेश्चन पे. Potential benefits. So, क्या होना चाहिए? Decreased security. Advantage नहीं है ये definitely. Reduced data privacy. ये भी advantage नहीं है. Reduced operational efficiency. ये भी advantage नहीं है. Of course, improving on the decision making. That's of course the advantage. What role does Hadoop play in big data processing? Hadoop is a programming language used for big data analytics. Hadoop is a distributed file system for storing and processing big data. Now, Hadoop के बारे में हमने इतना डिटेल में तो नहीं पढ़ा है, but it is not a data visualizing tool. That goes wrong. It's not a NoSQL database management system. That goes wrong. Programming language भी हम उसको इतना उसमें नहीं बोल सकते हैं. It should be distributed file system for storing and processing big data. Okay, they have given this question strange because they expect us to know what those analytic tools also do. So ठीक है, थोड़ा सा हम इसको रेफर कर लेंगे बाद में. But as of now, we understand the answer is distributed file system for storing and processing big data. Okay. Primary challenge associated with the veracity aspect of big data. What do you think that's it? Veracity is talking about quality and reliability. Okay. Data processing was volume. No, sorry. Data processing speed is velocity. Large volumes is volume. Diverse was the last point. What was that? And veracity was quality and reliability. तो ये थोड़ा सा हमें वो pointers ना ध्यान रखने पड़ेंगे. ठीक है? So this way you go through the chapter and try to refer to these questions. One or two questions I was seeing in the long answer questions also. हमको थोड़ा सा ये discuss करना है. So we'll try to do it tomorrow. And the other questions of vision also. ठीक है? ये दोनों चैप्टर के क्वेश्चंस हम लोग डिस्कस करके विल क्लोज